Before you scroll, hear this. What if the reason you feel tired, rejected, and stuck is not because life forgot you, but because you were trained to search for what was already prepared for you? What if the door you keep knocking on is not the door meant to open your future? And what if the power you keep giving to the outside world was placed inside you from the very beginning? Think about that. So many people wake up in fear. Fear of bills, fear of being behind, fear of not being chosen, fear of not finding work, love, peace, or a place in this world. But what if the real mistake is the search itself? What if chasing keeps telling life, I do not have it yet? And if that is the message you keep sending, then that is the picture life keeps showing back to you. Stay with me, because this might change the way you see everything. You were not made to crawl through life begging for scraps of worth. You were not made to live as if your future is in the hands of strangers. You were not made to believe that struggle is holy and exhaustion is proof of value. No, there is a deeper truth, a stronger truth, a freeing truth. What belongs to you is not running away from you. What is meant for you does not need your panic. It needs your alignment. It needs your belief. It needs the version of you who no longer shakes in fear, but stands in quiet certainty and says, what I need is already moving toward me. And once that truth lands in your spirit, the whole game begins to change. You were never meant to look at life as if everything important exists somewhere far away. The moment you begin searching from fear, you quietly confess that you are empty, that you are missing something, that you are separated from what you need. And that feeling of separation becomes the very state you live in. This is why so many people work harder and harder yet still feel farther away. They are not only moving their hands, they are feeding a belief in lack, a belief in delay, a belief that says, maybe one day, if I suffer enough, I will finally receive. But worry has never delivered peace. Panic has never built destiny. Force has never created true security. Think about your own life. The greatest moments did not always come through strain. Sometimes the right call came at the right time. The right person appeared without warning. The answer arrived after you stopped fighting. That is not weakness. That is a sign. There is a way of living that does not begin with fear. There is a way of moving that is rooted in inner knowing. A person who truly knows they are blessed does not wake up desperate. A person who truly knows they are guided does not bow down to every closed door. A person who truly knows they are provided for does not let one delay define their whole identity. Listen carefully, this is where many miss it. Stillness is not doing nothing. Stillness is inner conviction. Stillness is refusing to let fear write your story. Stillness is standing in the middle of uncertainty and saying, I will not call myself abandoned just because I cannot yet see the full road. Everything around you is responding to something deeper than words. It is responding to the assumptions you keep alive within yourself. The people you meet, the patterns you repeat, the kind of opportunities you notice, even the way you interpret events, all of it is colored by the state you live in most often. If you believe life is harsh, you will keep seeing proof. If you believe doors are always shutting, you will keep counting every closed one. If deep down you believe you are unworthy, unseen, or always late, the world will echo that belief until you become tired enough to question it. And that is why this matters so much. You are not powerless in your own story. You are not only reacting to life, you are helping shape the lens through which life appears. Read that again in your heart. The outer world often follows the inner script. That means the real work is not first in the crowd, the market, the interview, or the approval of people. The real work starts in the hidden place. In thought, in feeling, in identity, in that private conversation you have with yourself when nobody is watching. Here is a retention line you need to hear. The next part is important because if you miss this, you will keep trying to fix effects while ignoring causes. Most people try to change the picture without touching the projector. They want better results while repeating the same fearful inner speech. They want peace while feeding panic. They want abundance while meditating on scarcity all day long, but life keeps mirroring the dominant pattern. Change the pattern and the picture begins to move. From the time you were young, you were told that success belongs only to the exhausted, that love must be earned, that peace comes after pressure, and that security lives somewhere outside your own being. You were taught to measure yourself by what you can prove, by what others say, by how hard you can push, by how long you can endure. But ask yourself something honest. Has pressure alone ever made you whole? Has comparison ever made you powerful? Has fear ever made you free? Many people spend years chasing money, titles, attention, and approval, only to find that even after reaching them, the emptiness remains. Why? Because the outside can only magnify what the inside already holds. If someone feels deeply unworthy, even success can feel unstable in their hands. If someone feels deeply secure, even a humble beginning can become the doorway to overflow. This is why your inner state matters more than most people realize. It is not enough to say you want a better life. You have to become available for it within yourself. If you desire love, you cannot keep speaking to yourself with rejection. If you desire peace, you cannot let your mind worship chaos. If you desire provision, you cannot keep bowing to lack as if it is your final truth. You have to step into the version of yourself who already carries the energy of the life you pray for. Not pretending, not performing, becoming, slowly, honestly, daily. And yes, it may feel strange at first, but every powerful shift feels unfamiliar before it feels natural. Keep watching, because this is where your whole direction can change. You are not here to beg life for permission to exist fully. You are here to remember who you are and live from that place. There is a massive difference between chasing and receiving. Chasing says, "It is not mine yet." Receiving says, "I open myself to what is already prepared." Chasing burns your nerves. Receiving steadies your spirit. Chasing makes every delay feel personal. Receiving allows space for trust, timing, and movement you cannot yet see. Look at nature. The sun does not wake up in anxiety trying to prove it deserves to rise. Trees do not scream at the ground to let them grow. Rivers do not panic about reaching the sea. There is order, there is trust, there is flow, and you are not separate from that deeper order. So why live as if your whole existence depends on fear? Why move as if blessings are allergic to you? Why keep acting like what belongs to you must be hunted down like prey? What is meant for you is not confused about your address. What is aligned with your life can find you. But you must stop standing in the doorway of your own fear. You must stop naming yourself by your current lack. Here is the part many people need to hear twice. Your problem may not only be what you are facing, but the identity you keep bringing into what you are facing. If you show up as the abandoned one, you will read everything through abandonment. If you show up as the forgotten one, you will find signs of being forgotten everywhere. But if you begin to stand as one who is guided, chosen, supported, and led, then even delays will start looking different. Even silence will no longer mean denial. It may simply mean that something is being arranged. So if you have been looking for a job from panic, stop and breathe. If you have been looking for rescue from a place of inner collapse, pause and reset. This does not mean you never take action. It means you stop taking action as a slave to fear. There is a difference. Powerful action rises from inner certainty. Desperate action rises from inner lack. One carries peace, the other carries pressure. One attracts, the other repels. You can send applications, build skills, meet people, and step into new rooms, but do not do it while calling yourself invisible. Do not do it while repeating that nothing works for you. Do not do it while declaring that every good thing belongs to other people. Your actions matter, yes, but the spirit behind them matters too. And when that spirit changes, your experience begins to change with it. This is where many lives begin to turn around. Not when the world suddenly becomes easier, but when the person stops agreeing with the story of defeat. The moment you stop saying, "I am struggling to be chosen," and start saying, "What is right for me is finding me now," you begin to shift your field. The moment you stop saying, "I never have enough," and start saying, "I am supported in ways I cannot yet fully see," your mind opens to paths it used to miss. Stay with this, because the next truth is simple and strong. The outer world often lags behind the inner world. So do not quit just because the picture has not caught up yet. A seed is not fake because it is still underground. Movement can be real before it becomes visible. Many people stay trapped because they keep checking the world for permission to believe. They say, "I will trust when I see results. I will feel secure when money appears. I will feel loved when someone proves it. I will feel strong when life gets easier." But that approach keeps the power outside of you. And as long as the outside remains your master, your peace will always be fragile. The shift happens when you stop asking circumstances to tell you who you are. You decide first, then life begins to answer. This is not fantasy, this is the law of inner direction. A person who keeps saying, "Nothing works out for me," will often miss doors because their mind is trained to expect walls. A person who carries quiet expectancy notices chances, responds with courage, and moves differently in the same world. The difference is not always the world itself, It is the state brought into it. So check your inner conversation. What are you repeating every day without even noticing? What sentences have become furniture in your mind? I am behind. Nobody helps me. I always lose. I am too late. There is never enough. Those lines are not harmless. Spoken often enough, they become instructions. But you can change the script. You can begin saying, I am being led. My life can turn quickly. There is still time. I am not forgotten. The right door knows my name. Say it even if your voice shakes. Say it until the old story loses oxygen. And if this is hitting you deeply, keep listening, because the next part will take it even further. Once the inner speech changes, the emotional climate changes. Once the emotional climate changes, the choices change. Once the choices change, outcomes begin to move. Desire itself is not your enemy. Desire is not a cruel joke. It is not proof that you are empty. Many people have been taught to fear wanting, as if desire only sets them up for pain. But what if desire is a signal instead of a punishment? What if the deep longing for peace, provision, purpose, love, and freedom is not there to torment you, but to awaken you? The moment a true desire enters your heart, it points to possibility. It hints that there is more available than the life you have accepted so far. The mistake is not in desire. The mistake is in treating desire like a distant object that must be chased with fear. Think of a radio signal moving through the air. The music already exists, but the receiver must be tuned correctly to hear it. In the same way, the life you long for may require a new inner frequency, not frantic wishing, inner alignment. If you desire a life of peace, begin practicing peace in small moments now. If you desire meaningful work, begin seeing yourself as valuable now. If you desire stable provision, begin releasing the identity of being forever without. That does not mean denying facts. It means refusing to worship them. It means refusing to call the current scene your final truth. Here is a line worth remembering. You are not trying to force life to invent something that never existed. You are becoming aware of what is possible and stepping into agreement with it. This is why the battle is often not with the world, but with the old self that keeps insisting nothing can change. That voice must be challenged, not once, repeatedly, firmly, lovingly. Because the future often opens for the person who finally stops arguing for their limitations. There is a profound shift that happens when you stop living in the search and start living in the end. Searching says, I hope it comes. Living in the end says, I move as one who trusts it is unfolding. Searching makes you restless. Living in the end gives you a calm kind of strength. It changes the way you speak, the way you carry yourself, even the way you wait. Think of an actor stepping into a role. They do not walk onto the stage trying to become the character line by line. They enter as the character, they speak from that identity, they move from that identity, and the whole scene responds. In the same way, if you want a new life, you must stop visiting it only in fantasy and begin wearing its inner posture now. If you want to be secure, practice thinking like a secure person. If you want to be respected, stop talking to yourself like someone beneath respect. If you want open doors, stop introducing yourself to life as if rejection is your destiny. This matters more than you think, because when your inner identity changes, your behavior begins to match it, your choices begin to reflect it, and your world begins to answer it. Do not wait for full proof before embodying the shift. If you wait for the outside to go first, you may wait forever. The outside often follows the inside. This is why faith is not weak hope. Faith is inner agreement. Faith is saying, even if I cannot hold it yet, I will no longer speak as if it cannot happen. And yes, there will be moments where doubt whispers louder than courage. That is normal. But doubt does not have to drive. You can feel uncertainty and still choose a stronger inner position. That is where power begins. Trust does not mean passivity. It does not mean laziness. It does not mean sitting still while calling fear by a spiritual name. Trust means moving without panic. Trust means acting without inner begging. Trust means planting the seed and not digging it up every hour to check if it is growing. If you plant a seed, you water it, you protect it, you give it light, but you do not scream at the soil. You do not accuse the process, because growth is invisible for a while. The same is true for the life you are building. The moment you decide on a new inner story, things may begin moving beneath the surface before you can measure them. Conversations are being arranged. Timing is being set. Strength is being built. Vision is being corrected. But if you keep interrupting the process with constant fear, you make the journey heavier than it needs to be. This is why peace is powerful. Peace protects the seed. Peace keeps your hand steady. Peace lets you keep going without turning every delay into disaster. Here is your retention line. Do not miss this next truth because it can save you years of emotional exhaustion. Mixed signals create mixed experiences. One moment believing, the next moment collapsing. One day speaking life, the next day declaring doom. That inner back and forth keeps many people trapped. Choose a direction and stay with it. Guard your imagination, guard your words. Guard what you repeatedly dwell on. Not with obsession, but with intention. You do not need perfect thoughts every second. You need a stronger dominant direction, a stronger home state, a stronger inner identity that keeps returning to truth even after hard moments. That is how real change is built. And when that trust matures, something beautiful happens. You stop carrying desperation in your eyes. You stop trying to force every outcome. You stop reading every silence as rejection and every delay as defeat. You begin to walk with a different energy, a grounded energy, a receiving energy. You no longer need every person to validate your path. You no longer need instant proof to remain steady. You begin to understand that your life is not a random storm. There is response. There is order. There is shaping power in the unseen places of thought and belief. Opportunities start appearing with less strain. Ideas come more clearly. Your words become stronger. Your posture changes. Your discernment sharpens. Even when something does not work, you no longer collapse into the old identity. You simply say, that was not it. Something better is still moving. That is strength. That is freedom. That is a person no longer enslaved by appearance. And let me add this, because many people need to hear it. Receiving does not make you weak. It makes you wise. It teaches you not to confuse noise with progress. It teaches you not to wear burnout like a badge. It teaches you not to call constant fear responsibility. The world may praise struggle without end, but peace has a power the anxious mind cannot understand. The calm person often sees what the frantic person misses. The steady person often recognizes the open door that panic would have walked right past. So do not underestimate the strength of inner rest. It is not retreat, it is alignment. It is the place where your spirit stops fighting itself and starts moving as one. If you look at your life today and you see lack, do not hate yourself for it. Do not sink into shame. Do not turn temporary patterns into permanent identity. Instead, let your life become honest feedback. Let it show you what beliefs have been quietly running the show. Then decide with full intention that the old script ends here. You do not need to fight every shadow at once. You need to stop feeding it. Stop repeating the lines that built the prison. Stop worshiping the evidence of old fear. Start building a new agreement within yourself. Speak from the life you are growing into. Feel from the peace you are welcoming in. Make choices from the worth you are finally willing to accept. If you desire love, do not abandon yourself while waiting for someone else to choose you. If you desire provision, do not keep naming yourself by the season of shortage. If you desire purpose, stop telling yourself that your best days are gone. You are not disqualified because the road has been hard. You are not rejected because things have taken time. You are not invisible because one room failed to see you. There are doors you have not reached yet. There are people who can recognize what others missed. There are turns in the road that can change the whole story faster than fear wants to admit. So hold your inner ground. Keep your imagination clean. Keep your words strong. Keep your heart open. And when the old story tries to return, answer it with calm authority. That is not who I am anymore. Because once you change the inner agreement, the outer pattern cannot stay the same forever. Sooner or later, the mirror answers. Everything you seek is closer than fear has told you. Peace is not far, provision is not far, purpose is not far. The life meant for you is not hiding in some unreachable corner of the universe, waiting for you to break yourself trying to earn it. It begins with a shift, a deep one, a quiet one, a strong one. Stop searching as if you are empty. Stop begging as if you were forgotten. Stop naming yourself by your current condition. Stand up in your spirit and remember, what is truly aligned with you can come to you, grow through you, and unfold around you when you stop fighting your own worth. Let your thoughts become cleaner. Let your words become bolder. Let your imagination serve your future instead of repeating your fear. Move through this week like someone whose path is being prepared. Speak like someone who expects good things. Rest like someone who knows they are not alone in the process. Act like someone whose life can change quickly. And when doubt comes, because sometimes it will, do not bow to it. Let it pass. Then return to the deeper truth. Return to the inner knowing. Return to the vision of a life that is supported, guided, and opening at the right time. If this message found you at the exact moment you needed it, Take it seriously. Revisit it. Let it sink in. Read these words again if you have to. Because the moment you stop chasing and start aligning, stop fearing and start trusting, stop calling yourself lacking and start seeing yourself as already connected to what you need, your whole atmosphere begins to change. And from that place, life can answer in ways bigger, faster, and more beautifully than you imagined.